Want to be a boomer? Stay tuned to the end of this episode and you'll find out how. Take it away, Mike.
Hello, I'm Mike Fulton at MF Woodshop out of Anderson, Indiana, and I'm a Rockin' H Boomer fan. Woo!
Now, I got a couple things that I want to tackle in this particular session, and one of them is mounting the cabinets. But somebody actually addressed something to me that I wanted to clear up real quick that a novice person that's building cabinetry might not clearly understand, and that is the toe kick cutout. Industry standard for toe kicks is 3¼ inches from the front and 4 inches up. I went ahead and just made mine 4 up and 3 back. Now, one of the things I wanted to tackle before I mount these cabinets that's going to be very difficult once they are mounted is the drawer slides that go up underneath the toe kick area. Because once it's on the floor and screwed into the wall, I'm going to have a very difficult time trying to reach in here with a big drill and holding a slide at the same time to get it mounted. So I'm going to take care of that now. Now, what I plan on using is the Centerline Lifetime drawer slides available from Rockler. These are the 18-inch slides that I will be using for the toe kick pullouts. I also have 22-inch slides that I will be using for the rest of the drawers. With its black body, these drawer slides will work very well with the color coordination that I have going on in the shop. All right, now here is the toe kick area. So this will be a void underneath the cabinet that I am going to fill with a drawer. However, since this is going to be mounted to the floor, I run the risk of any inconsistencies in the floor, which in my case isn't much, but the closer that I mount this drawer to the floor, the less tolerance I'm going to have as I extend the drawer out that it may run into a hump in the floor and probably cause an issue with the drawer fully extending. So instead of mounting it at the bottom, I'm going to slide it all the way to the top and then mount it towards the top of the drawer. I'll still have about a 1/4 inch clearance from the top of this part of the slide to the top of the other that mounts to the cabinet. So I would rather keep the tolerance close to the cabinet versus close to the floor. The one reason I really like these slides is because they have the ability to over travel past full extension. Most of the time the end of the slide stops at the edge of the cabinet, however this one does not. And since I have a toe kick kind of set up here, the over travel is much nicer than full extension. This is great. Now what I want to do is get these things mounted to the wall, but first I have to locate the studs because the last thing I want are these things to fall off the wall. Since I've got a 3/4 inch back, I'm going to have plenty of meat to screw into, but you want to make sure that you find a really good stud to mount it to as well. So what I've done is I've taken a stud finder and I've ran it across the wall, and then I've taken an exploratory 3-inch screw with my drill and drilled through that area where I thought the stud finder thought it found a stud. Now I just want to take a long line level like this and put it up to the hole, then checking to make sure that it is good and plumb right down here on the bubble. If it's good and centered and I'm right over my hole, then I want to draw myself a line as long as the level is. Now in order to get the cabinets up overhead, now that I have my lines drawn past the bottom of the cabinets, in order for me to handle them by myself and mount them at the same time, I've got to put a cleat along the bottom here that's 47 inches down because the cabinets are 47 inches. Now I'm going to bring it up, slap my level on top, level it out, and then screw in to the rest of the studs to keep it in place. Now looking at my reference lines that I have on the wall, I'm going to measure from this adjacent wall to my first measurement line and account for the 3/4 inch piece that will be on the side of the cabinet, and then transfer that measurement to the inside of the cabinet on the back wall, just so I can have a pretty good idea where to start drilling. Now, before you lift this cabinet above your head to put it on this cleat, make sure that everything is within arm's reach, including screws, pre-drill, and a impact driver to get it into the wall. I've also got my speed square up here to kind of give me the good estimate range for my holes inside the cabinet because I just made 2 little tick marks. Okay, now that that one's installed, the installation is going to go the same way. You just repeat the steps. Measure the inside for your reference lines here, transfer them to the inside of the cabinet, screw them down. One thing I did forget to mention, in order to help keep your front faces nice and flush to one another and also nice and tight while you mount them, you need to get yourself a pair of squeeze clamps or the quick grip clamps and line them up the way you like, clamp them together, and then we're going to screw these two sides together. Now, careful planning, and you can install these cabinets pretty quick just by yourself. Just repeat these steps for the cabinets thereafter. Since I'm done with this particular mounting cleat, I'm just going to take it off. All right, just like that, upper cabinets are done. I had a small little minor hiccup right here. I'm not sure what happened there. It kind of did the same thing down here. But overall, I think I'll be able to hide that pretty well with the doors, so I'm not too concerned about it. All right, now what I've got here is the desk section that's going to go up against the wall over there. And I was waiting to put it together because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with the shelving underneath, whether I wanted it to be in a stop dado fixed in place or I wanted it to be adjustable. And I think I'm going to go the route of being adjustable. So I'm going to put some adjustable holes in it, and the jig that Rockler had sent me is made to clamp on either side of the cabinet. However, since the shelving unit is going to be back set a little bit, I'm going to alter this just a little. So I'm going to take off this guide bar, and that way the whole thing will lay flat, and then I can still use it. Now I'm just going to drill right here in the center. Now I'm going to take an indexing pin that comes with the jig and insert it right in that hole. So now the jig will register and stay put. Now I can continue with the rest of the holes. Okay, now the installation of the lower cabinets is a little different than the upper cabinets. One of the main reasons is because the foundation that runs behind sticks out away from the wall about a good inch. This is not the conventional way. This is how I'm going to do it. Most of the time people notch for these things. I just chose not to. So what I did is I've cut some spacers that I put in the back. Each of them are different sizes because the wall is pitched a different way. And I've also put in some shims here at the feet as well as towards the back to make sure that this is not only plumb, but also level across both the left to right and front to back. Now, I'm just going to screw it into the studs. Again, we're going to implement some of the same techniques we use on the upper cabinetry. We're going to make sure everything's flush, clamp them together, then screw them together, not to mention shim them in the back, and then make sure it's nice and plumb and level. All right, now the last thing that I want to accomplish is getting the adjustable shelving cut for all of these cabinets. So I'm going to take a piece of plywood, cut them just a little bit narrower than the opening of this cabinet right here, and then I'll probably make about 2 to 3 shelves per cabinet. All right, now I went ahead and cut some shelving for the desk area that will hold all of my magazines, and they're also on adjustable shelving pins as well. Well, as you can see, I couldn't wait to put some stuff in it just to kind of see how it's going to look. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you wanted to know how to become a boomer, which are my viewers, I'm allowing people to be a part of my videos. So all you have to do to be a boomer is send me a 5 to 6 second clip of yourself saying who you are, where you're located, and that you're a boomer watcher for Rockin' H Woodshop. Or just simply say, and I'm a boomer. And then give me a fist pump. Boom! You can send those to me by email at drewshort@rhwoodshop.com. And I hope to see a whole bunch come in so I can put those at the beginning of my videos. That way you guys can give me a shout out and you can also be a part of my video. So from the Rockin' H Woodshop family to you, I would like to wish you a happy Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you guys are safe out on the road and be careful out there in your shops. I will talk to you next time. Boom!